All right, let's make sure it's going out okay on the old YouTubes. Come on. God, is it not going? Oh, shit. I got the wrong one. I'm not even looking at the right damn thing. All right, hang on. That explains why the fucking chat wasn't working. All right, hang on a second. Sorry, folks, I can't see the chat. Got fucked up here. Okay. Here we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I something messed up. What the hell? I'm just having a hell of a time. Here we go. All right. Somebody says Bechtloff is a boomer when it comes to technology. Well, in all fairness, fucking YouTube. Went and shared the wrong link there. All right. Now I can see you guys. And all right. So sorry about that. I ended up sharing the wrong link. Normally I click whatever. For some reason, YouTube has insisted on saving this one particular live stream in this list when I go into like the list of live streams. Because for some reason on my new channel, I can't just go to the front of the channel and see the live stream. Like I said, kind of annoying. For some reason, YouTube operates slightly differently on this channel as I'm working on this channel. And it's just enough to fuck me up because I'm borderline retarded when it comes to doing this stuff. I mean, as I've said here from, with regards to Luke, animating my videos, I don't know how to make videos. So that's why I never did anything with this channel till I got a strike. Somebody says, get on with it, clip from Monty Python. Indeed. All right. Well, sorry for the crappy start there. So, let's see. Yesterday I talked about the Cherry Poppins story, the porn star who died of an OD. And I kind of talked about, like I have a great deal of sympathy for a lot of these people. It's it's the sad but predictable end of the hedonist. I don't take any of the position a lot of the people on the hyper trad right take, we should ban pornography, because I think that's just incredibly short-sighted. If the government can ban pornography, there's very little it can't do. For one thing, that would be massive controls of the internet. I mean, it would basically mean they could just kill switch. any site on the internet. And I realize we already don't have much of a free internet. What with the handful of fucking corporations controlling basically every outlet of speech. But at the same time, I don't necessarily trust the government to have complete control over it either. I don't see any attempt to ban pornography that, you know, where the cure isn't worse than the disease. That said, though, porn isn't good for you. It really isn't. I mean, I remember about 10 years ago, I was watching a lot of it. And it's just bad. It's just really, really bad for you. Yeah, it's just. I don't really know how anybody defends it anymore. Yeah, at some point I got to get Jordan Owen on here and just really, you know, see why he's all about it. I wouldn't mind that guy I Shoot Porn actually had emailed Matt Forney about his stream on Cherry Poppins. I might see if I can get him on. That'd be an interesting discussion. I actually am going to have Jordan Owen on this channel in a next month. Well, not this channel, I should say, the Bechtloff channel. Next month, I'm going to have Jordan Owen on, and it's going to be sort of a where are they now video. In the wake of stuff like Baked Alaska and I don't know, Exceptional Detective, King of Pole, whatever, and Channel Awesome, and just we've seen collapse after collapse of just e-celebs careers. And I think it would be interesting to discuss things with somebody who had a little bit of that and then just walked away. Because in the wake of the whole mess with Davis, you know, Jordan basically gave up the internet career thing. I mean, he still has a channel. He still puts some content on there, but it's not the content he used to make. And it's, you know, no offense to Jordan, but it's not content a great deal of people give a shit about. It's just content he wants to do. And okay, fine. So he's basically given it up, and it will be interesting to talk to him about that. So he says, there's a reason all those messed up fetishes appear in the porn era, like cucking, for example. Well, I mean, part of it is, you know, things got to... The nature of online porn changed porn, especially when it became, you know, everybody had broadband and we could stream video easily and all. That meant not that many people pay for porn. And so to make money in porn, now there's some artificial elements propping it up. I'm convinced that somebody is just pouring money into sites like black.com, for example. I mean, we've all seen pictures from black.com used in memes, okay? They get used in memes a ton. And that's like high quality porn. That's like high production values, excellent photography and shit like that. And interracial isn't naturally that fucking profitable. I remember it was 10 years ago when I was into porn, it was considered one of the niche things. And it really still is if you look at the actual numbers. So I'm convinced there's some outside money getting poured into that. But that aside, generally speaking, in order to make money these days, you got to be niche because that's the only way people are going to subscribe to a site if it's something they can't find a ton of. So that's part of what causes pornography to niche. And then part of it is just, when you have a porn habit, you're going to be looking at more and more degenerate shit. I mean, hell, not to pick on the guy, but Jordan Owen was on the Bechtloff channel at one point and mentioned something about some tranny porn star. I want to say, what the hell's her name? Bailey something. Her, his name. I hate when I accidentally go along with the delusion. But he said something about finding that tranny hot. And the thing about it is, I don't think Jordan is really gay. I don't even think Jordan's really bi. I think Jordan just watches entirely too much porn to the point where it fucks with your mind and you start to go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. I mean, Hugh Hefner used to look at gay porn in his final days to get off. And I don't believe Hugh Hefner was gay. I mean, how should I put this? I think homosexuality in general is more nurture and than we tend to get. But I don't think Hugh Hefner ever had any real inclination in that direction. I think he just got more and more and more jaded, and eventually he needed something. It just got him to normal. It's the Hellraiser box thing. So he says if that porn money could talk, it would echo for sure. So he said ContraPoints made a video debunking Jordan Peterson. I don't know who ContraPoints is. I know Vox Day's been on a fucking tirade going against Jordan Peterson. The handful of times I check his blog, he's like, I've proven Jordan Peterson is dishonest. Just because, look, Peterson is blue-pilled on race. Whoopie jack shit, Vox. Vox has decided that's his new fucking white whale or something. Jordan Peterson won't debate me. He's a gamma male, and Jordan Peterson doesn't know who you are, Vox, nor would he care if he did. Yeah. There's nothing, anyone on the right, there's nothing to be gained by attacking Peterson. Yeah, he's certainly cashing in, perhaps a bit more than he arguably should be. And he's blue-pilled about race. Whoopie jack shit. Peterson's advice, the direction Peterson is pushing people in, by and large, is extremely fucking positive. And frankly, a lot of you alt-righters who are mad at him about being on race, you know what? Why don't you start taking some of Peterson's advice? Okay, maybe see if you're not in a better position to start talking about race to people. Because it's funny, Stefan Molyneux, somebody on Gab mentioned this too. There is a point where optics matter. I know he's an optics cuck, but you know what? There is a point where optics matter. Because you know what? Stefan Molyneux is Canadian. Okay? And I guarantee you he has violated Canadian hate speech laws numerous fucking times. And he's never going to go to jail for it. Because do you want to be the prosecutor that goes up against Stefan Molyneux in court? Nobody fucking wants that. How you carry yourself fucking matters. All right? Jordan Peterson's still a boomer at heart. Yeah, he has the problem. Jordan Peterson has a bit of the eternal boomer in him, but I would argue Vox has the eternal Gen Xer in him. In that, Vox thinks he's smarter than everything. He's the cool guy. He's above it all. When is Sweet Aaron guest starring on the show? That's probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. Although I am putting some real thought into trying to get some guests outside of the wheelhouse once I get back to my regular channel, get super chats and that sort of thing. Like I said, I want to get Jordan on here. That should be an interesting talk. If I can get that I shoot porn guy on here, I wouldn't mind him have maybe see if I can get him opposite somebody like Jay Dyer, for instance. There's a few other. There's actually there's some other stuff I'm thinking of too. But somebody says I would imagine Jordan Peterson and Vox would have a great conversation about Asimov. I don't think they would. I don't think they would because I think Vox at this point is too far up his own ass to have a conversation with anybody. I don't. I think he's lost the plot. Yeah, all this attacking Peterson is. I mean, first of all, there's a reason the left is frantically attacking Peterson. Peterson's trying to put back some meaning into things. He's trying to put back the theological into things. He's trying to put back individual responsibility into things. And these are all the things the left hates. What was it, Dusty? What's that fucking redneck fedora faggot called to Dusty? Where he had this big rant against Peterson. I don't want to clean my room. I want to smoke weed. Well, good luck with that, buddy. So he says Peterson would gain nothing from debating Vox. No, he wouldn't. He has nothing. He has nothing to gain from that. Right? Win or lose, he has nothing to gain from that. So. I prefer Clan of Dusty. Cult of Dusty. So many of these hardcore atheists are just so fucking vile. Like the anal atheist TJ. Vile, disgusting motherfuckers. Somebody says too early for a stream. I guess it's early. Kind of late here on the East Coast, but whatever. Jay Dyer versus Peterson would be cool. Yeah, I guess it would. I'd like to get Jay on here more and debate more stuff. At least Dawkins had class, and Dawkins had some fucking brains too. I mean, Cult of Dusky is a dumb motherfucker. He really is. If that guy's IQ was higher than the fucking 90s, I'd be shocked. Fox has been trying to punch up for a while now. He started with Ben Shapiro, and now he's on Peterson. He just solidifies who he has following him without making it big. Yeah, but I don't know. It made a little bit more sense for fucking Shapiro. Yeah. Somebody says, where the 2D women's at? Peterson versus Jarrett Taylor. That actually be pretty interesting. I mean, like I said, Peterson's just simply too blue-pilled on race. And look, here's the other thing, guys, and this is something that's really dawning on me. And I guess it's obvious, but it just kind of really dawned on me. There's a reason a lot of people who are blue-pilled on race really, 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 really don't want to debate it. They don't want to discuss it because they fucking know. They fucking know deep down inside. You can't unknow. You know it, okay? You fucking know. I don't have to get into the details here. We all know. We all just instinctively know. We can all just look around us, think shit's pretty obvious. You have to lie to yourself pretty damn hard. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people that they just can't accept the fact that different breeds of humanity are indeed different. Because they ascribe to that such a high I guess, moral value or something. I mean, to a lot of leftists, if they accepted the idea that, say, blacks have a lower IQ than whites, if they were to accept that idea, then because they're such, authoritarian, monsters, then in their minds, I guess black people would have to be wiped out or something. Um, I really think they can't handle it. They can't. They dare not accept the reality. Um, Somebody says sin is great. Peterson tells you to clean your room. What a hack! Rips bong. Um, Boy Scouts more like Catamite Scouts. Yep. Though in all fairness, I kind of always thought the Boy Scouts were gay. I don't know. Even as a kid, I'm like, huh. I'm gonna wear inappropriately short shorts and a neckerchief and go camp in the woods with that confirmed bachelor. Yeah, that doesn't seem like something I want to do. Um, so yeah, that's what's your opinion about the Boy Scouts name drama? I mean, if your kids are in Scouts, you're wrong. Um, is Thanos the ultimate thought patroller? Hey, Thanos did nothing wrong. There's no doubt about that. The Scouts are forced to follow the new Prime Directive that no Western woman be offended. Um, what the hell was the other thing? Oh, I know the other thing I wanted to talk about. I was thinking of it last night. Godwinson had a pretty good video on not I was going to say Jordan Peterson. I was talking no, far from Jordan Peterson, almost the polar opposite. Fucking Jim Sterling. He had a good video on Jim Sterling, and there's this guy Johansson or something that Godwinson focuses on a great deal, who just idolizes Jordan Peterson. I did it again. Idolizes Jim Sterling. Um, and let's bring up Jim Sterling's Patreon for a second, because you want to be pissed off for a second here. Let's talk about what Jim Sterling makes per fucking month on Patreon. Let's Jim Sterling is creating the Jinquisition. So per fucking month, and it's probably a few bucks more than this, because I know my Patreon actually shows a couple of bucks lower than what it actually is. So his Patreon is showing at $13,517. Now we're gonna whip out the old calculator here, and I don't have an actual calculator on me, but he has a whopping 6,878 patrons. And I'm always very fascinated at what the average amount patrons is giving is too. So let's whip that in the old calculator, shall we? 13,517 divided by 6,878, and we got 1.96525 blah blah. Let's round it up. $2. He's getting an average of $2 per person. I find that kind of interesting. I think there's something telling about that, like, because I suspect there's a lot of people who forgot to give to him. But I think there's something about how engaged your fans are with you by the average amount they give. I'm always very impressed with people's patrons, and when I do the average, they're getting like 10, $20 per person or something. You know what I mean? That always kind of fascinates me. But anyways, point is, this cocksucker is making $13,517 a month on Patreon. $13,000. Let's round that down. Tax man gonna take a good old chunk. Let's say, I don't know, what do you think? What do you think he's making after taxes there? Because the tax man, especially when you're a small business, he fucking rapes you. He fucking rapes you. So let's say, first of all, let's say what is he making per year? So let's whip that out. Times 12. He is making $162,000 a year to be Jim Sterling. Let's say what the fuck is the top tax bracket in America anymore? Indulge me here, folks. Top tax bracket 2018 is, come on, just give me a percentage. 37%. Okay, so let's say he's in the top tax bracket. He's fucking not. But let's say he is. Let's just for shits and giggles. 37%. So that would be 63. Yeah, okay. Times 0.63. Even at the top tax bracket, he would still be making over $100,000 a year. Let's divide that by 12. Go back to what he's making a month. $8,000 a month. $8,000 a month. Now, $8,000 a month, take home. That's you're not stupid rich, but you're living quite well. You're doing pretty good for yourself. I'm sure a lot of the working class people I got listening to this, you ain't making that, are you? So I say all that to say this. Would it not be easy to look at this and say, where the fuck is the justice in the world? Because Jim Sterling gets this money to be a fat man child who bitches about video games. And not only that, but to pretend to be pro-consumer regarding the video game industry. And I say pretend because let's not forget, this guy was pro-Anita. And no, you're not pro-consumer if you're pro-Anita. When a consumer revolt known as Gamergate showed up, he called it, icky and misogynistic and shit like that. This fat fedora degenerate piece of shit is getting $13,000 a month. But again, does Jim Sterling even live in the U.S.? Yes, I believe he moved to the U.S. recently. He is British, or the eternal Anglo strikes again. But he did move to the U.S., I believe. Left-wing Anglo-flyer gamers are preparing for the death of Total Biscuit. Yeah, I heard he's got probably weeks, maybe months left, from what I understand. I gotta say, I'm not dancing on his grave or anything like that. That said, though, I never really saw the appeal of Total Biscuit. I don't find him remotely fucking entertaining. The only positive thing I could really say about him is he half-heartedly supported Gamergate, whoopee jack shit. Internet blood sport, Bechtloff versus any white supremacist on the TJ question. Yeah. Bechtloff, you must find a way to get those disposable neat bucks. If Jim Sterling can do it, so can you. Well, in all fairness, Jim Sterling knows how to make videos, and I don't. So I'll give him that. I don't know how he has the fucking chrome-plated balls to go on camera like that. I just, like, I'm kind of fat, okay? And I don't, I'm kind of ashamed of that. You know what I mean? I can't imagine being Jim Sterling. Like, Jim Sterling makes Movie Bob look like he's in good shape. I can't imagine just not being ashamed of any fucking camera in his position. But here's the thing though. It would be easy to like, oh, where's the justice? How could Jim Sterling be doing so well? But think about that. Think about this for a second. Would $13,000 a month really be worth being Jim Sterling? Like, ask yourself, you switch places with him. Would you? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I want you all playing at home because I don't have Luke with me. Go ahead and Google Jim Sterling's wife. I'm not 100% convinced she exists. I kind of think it's Jim Sterling in a wig or something like that. That said, though, when you're that grossly, like hideously fat, you don't even really look human anymore. Also, that big, hideous, fucking obese pig of a woman that he's married to that you're looking at right now, she cucks him. They're in an open relationship. And as we all know, an open relationship means the man is getting cucked, okay? Because all things being equal, women can get sex much easier than men, can't they? Unless a man is the most alpha motherfucker out there, which Jim Sterling sure as shit is not, an open relationship means he's getting cucked. It means he hits on women and gets shot down, and she gets fucked. And I know you're like, who the fuck would bang that hideous she beast? Look, dick's cheap, okay? Dick is cheap. As far as commodities go, dick's pretty fucking cheap. Pussy's pretty high up there, okay? Invest in pussy whenever you can. It's pretty high up there, okay? If they were trading it on the fucking stock exchange, it would be going up nearly every fucking day. Dick is dirt cheap, okay? If pussy is platinum, dick is like stainless steel, okay? As far as worth. Virtually any woman with a fucking pulse can get some manner of dick, okay? So, would you be Jim Sterling? And think of the vile state of that man's soul. Okay, like let's get all Christ cuck on us for a second here. Okay, now like I'm kind of a shitbag if I'm being perfectly honest with you folks. Okay, I've dabbled in a bit too much degeneracy in my day, and God forgive me, probably will again at some point. All right. Probably will again at some point get up to some shit that I shouldn't do. All right. Even if only, in my browsing history, probably going to sin in that area again. But Jim Sterling is just into the like the motherfucker I love how he ironically is into all this degeneracy. Like he has a dildo on set that he plays with, a big purple dildo. He didn't just buy that as a prop. Don't you fucking tell me he bought that as a prop. No. He just has a fucking dildo, all right? And here's the other thing. And this was back when Craig was my sidekick. Just to give context of when this was the weekend that Splatoon for the Wii U had come out. I picked up Splatoon first weekend, and I got one of the amiibos. I got the little orange girl. I don't have either at this point. I did not enjoy Splatoon that much. I got to be honest with you. Pardon me, belching like DSP over here. I can see why people do like Splatoon. Undertow, I know, was a huge fan of it. I can understand why people do like it. It just wasn't for me, especially because I didn't even have my Wii U hooked up online at the time. I think Mario Maker finally made me hook it up online. So, the single player in Splatoon was a fucking joke. Anyways, though, I got Splatoon and I got the amiibo with it. The amiibo was actually easier to find than the fucking game that Friday it came out. Amiibos were all over the fucking place. Now, this being early in Amiibo's time, there was a bunch of speculators on Amazon and eBay over these Splatoon Amiibos. But the interesting thing was, even as that speculator bubble was happening online, every store in my area had them. And then all the people in the chat at that point were telling me that every store had it. You know, from what I was hearing all over the place, you could easily find them in stores. Jim Sterling had a video bitching about how, you know, he's so sick of the, you know, all the speculators and amiibos, and he's done with amiibos now because he couldn't get his Splatoon amiibos. And the reason he couldn't get his Splatoon amiibos is because his fat ass doesn't leave the house. He just looked on Amazon and eBay. He didn't go to a store. I'm not convinced he really does go to stores. Godwin also said that this guy, that Jim Sterling's mannerisms remind him of an eccentric lesbian. But my point in all this is never let yourself fall into a place where you're envious of these people. Okay. First of all, if like me, you're a Christian, you know where Jim Sterling's fucking going. Okay. You know where Jim Sterling's fucking heading. He will never repent. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say never, but if I were a betting man, I know where my money would be. There's something in his personality. I guess you'd call it a pride. I guess you'd call it just an absolute kind of fuck you dad to God or whatever. But it's more than just the hedonism. It's more than just, I mean, like Roosh is a hedonist, and I believe Roosh is getting closer and closer to real faith. I believe God is working on Roosh. But Roosh is a different kind of hedonist than a guy like Jim Sterling is. I don't know how to put this exactly, but there's the type of hedonism that you have to work at. You know, in other words, there's the type of hedonist that, you know, he works hard, he makes his money, you know, he goes to the gym, he works out, he keeps himself in good shape. He has a discipline about it, but then, you know, he works hard and he plays hard and he basically just lives for himself. But again, a discipline to it. And then there's the hedonist like Jim Sterling, that is addicted to pornography and corn syrup and video games. Do you maybe see the difference there? You know, I'm not necessarily saying either one is the path to go, but if you had to pick one, would you rather be Roosh or Jim Sterling? You know? Would you rather someone you love become Roosh or Jim Sterling? You know, if you had a son, would you rather him be Roosh or Jim Sterling? Do you see the point I'm making there? There is more virtue in the Roosh form of hedonism. Let's see. Somebody says Roosh went down the path of lust. Jim Sterling took the path of sloth. Well, Jim Sterling, I mean, also took the path of lust. I mean, you know, he's you know, he's jerking off to pornography all the fucking time. Somebody says a lot of these people would be lifers at Starbucks if not for YouTube. Oh yeah, Jim Sterling has no marketable skills. I mean, you know, not that I'm in the best position, fucking job wise, but I can't imagine Jim Sterling has a work ethic either. Jim Sterling has the hedonism that's born from sloth. It's about accurate. There's a reason some people say sloth is the mother of all sins. Yeah, Jim. Oh, I actually heard there's like a dating site for people with like fat fetishes in. And Jim Sterling's wife, I think it's called like Feedy or something like that. Feedy, whatever. And somebody showed me this was a while back. I wish I'd saved it. But somebody showed me apparently Jim Sterling's wife has a fucking profile on it. So he says, I'm so disappointed. I always thought evil was cool and awesome. Evil was supposed to be Darth Vader and Doctor Doom or Kurtz from Heart of Darkness. Now I realize evil is Jonathan Ross and Movie Bob. Well, if you think about it, you know, the more purely, there's sort of a, like if you had a graph of how evil a person is and how dangerous a person is, it would it would sort of go up, and then it would, you know, as the evil and the danger would go up at the same time until a certain point, and then the danger would top off and then sort of go down as the evil increased. And, you know, it would become, I guess, this sort of diminishing returns. Because think about this. Like, you know, you mentioned Doctor Doom there, and I'm obviously a comic book guy. So let's go into some of these comic book villains. You take a character like Doctor Doom, Magneto, or Lex Luthor. Again, getting back to sort of the Roosh versus Jim Sterling thing, these are usually very disciplined characters. They have strong senses of honor. In many ways, they have their own, many of them have their own very stringent moral code. You know, they sometimes they're doing terrible things, but for good motivations, that kind of thing. And then, like, say you look at somebody like TJ. TJ is a perfect example. You know, TJ is probably one of the most evil motherfuckers you could hope to meet on the internet. He's also not that dangerous. You know, if he hadn't of stumbled into the YouTube career, you know, he would, you know, be working at Burger King, something like that. You know, the most dangerous kind of evil is is a largely virtuous man who is just bent in one major way. You know, Doctor Doom, Doctor Octopus, Magneto, perfect examples in Marvel. These are characters that you could imagine like parallel universes where these characters are great heroes in that universe, and, you know, possibly in the Avengers or, you know, whatever, or the X-Men or whatever, you know, for Magneto. You know, it could have very easily gone differently for them. You look at Jonathan Ross. I mean, you know, Jonathan Ross would be much more dangerous if he was a bit more disciplined. You know, if he wasn't so sloppy and stupid. You know, if he would actually wash his fucking ass. Like, the motherfucker doesn't even bathe or wipe his own ass. Pretty hard to lure the kids in when you smell like a sewer pipe. Yeah. Literally, there reaches a point where you become so evil, you're not even dangerous anymore. You're just sad. You know, somebody like Movie Bob's a perfect example. You know, you go on his Twitter and you see his tirades about, you know, just evil genocidal shit. But can you even begin to imagine a universe in which Movie Bob would ever be in a position to act on such fantasies? He had, you know, that Movie Bob couldn't kill a single person because he's too weak of body and mind to ever do it. his, one of the reasons that ultimate judgment on a person's moral state is to be left to God, is because you don't know, that guy that seems harmless could hold in him the unimaginable evil. And that guy that, did terrible things, well, maybe not to justify it, I'm saying, but maybe there was some sort of twisted reasoning. Maybe he thought he was doing good, whatever. Yeah, there's a certain banality and patheticness to evil. Patheticness even a word? I don't know. Forgive me, I'm a public school kid. Modern people have an inability to look inward, and looking inward is a vital part to get you better at your life and cleanse your soul. Yeah, which is a big reason I think Jordan Peterson, much as you can criticize him for being blue-pilled on race, I think he's doing a world of good by getting people to look inward. I remember this one news story about a child predator that tried to lure a kid into his van, but he was 500 pounds, so the kid got away. But enough about Jim Sterling. I wonder what Spoonie's up to on Patreon. Let's see if we can find Spoonie's Patreon. I wonder if it's usually holds solid at that pitiful ass amount. Yep, 536. 162 patrons. What's DSP at though? I want to see what's Phil at. What's good old Phil at? I want to compare Phil and Spoonie's Patreon. Here we go. Darkside Phil Patreon. Darkside Phil is creating. Yeah. Okay, so Darkside Phil's gone down. He used to be at about 1,000. He is now at 728. He's still making more than Spoonie a month on Patreon. Spoonie is at 536. Well, let's whip out the old calculator because I want to see how much they're getting per. Okay, so Spoonie is getting 536, and he has 162 Patreons. So he is getting an average of $3.30, 8.308, 31. $3.31, let's just say. And then Darkside Phil is he is getting 728 a month, and he has 146 patrons. So he's getting a whopping 4.986301 blah blah blah. We'll just round that up to $4.99. So not only is Phil making more, he's making more per patron. That's kind of interesting. Because, yeah, he's making more with less patrons than Noah. And also, I would like to add that the last time Noah updated for his patrons was on June 11th, 2016. Now, in all fairness, I'm terrible at updating my Patreon too. So, but also, in all fairness, I'm only making $70. Plus, I do put out content. So he says, just got here shitting on Spoonie. Yep. Just sort of shitting on E-celebs in general. Jennifer Dahl sending me things on Facebook. I mean, she is brutal when she's arguing with people online. This cute, nice little girl that does all these goofy doodles, and she is just vicious when she wants to be. Well, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this up. I apologize. The beginning of this stream was a big old mess. Shit happens. Technical difficulties all around. So, folks, if you enjoy the content I put out, do consider supporting me. There's the Patreon where you can become a regular supporter. There's PayPal where you can send a one-time donation. There's the Amazon wish list. And I've mentioned before, but any kind of media I get off the Amazon wish list, I will do a review of. Like if I get a figure, I don't, how am I going to do a review of that? I mean, I could, I guess, maybe do a review of it, but it looks nice on the bookshelf. What else do you want me to say? But if it's like a video game or a DVD or a book, I'll do a proper review, at least in a live stream. And somebody got me the Jordan Peterson book off there. I'm just about done with that. So, somebody says, how do these people make all this money then? Hey, Bechtloff, if you determined to make some major dough on this, what would you do? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how to do much other than what I'm doing here. I guess maybe do videos, but see, that's such a gamble because you could be putting all this work into these edited videos and then just never get noticed. And then I guess live streams are the way to be making some money right now. You're not going to necessarily make money on Patreon, but I mean, obviously they're the kind of top of the heap, but guys like, the Kumite and shit, I mean, they can easily make $1,000 a night. So, I mean, I can't imagine what the fuck Jim raked in the other day when he enabled super chats. So, but yeah, if like I said, if you enjoy the show, consider supporting it. And once I get back on my channel, come next month, I'm gonna try and get you some really entertaining live streams. Put some real work into it. I want to especially do real life streaming. Worked for Bake. I don't think it worked for Bake. Somebody says it's better to find a way to make money in the real world and leave the internet funds for a hobby. Yeah, well, if you know a good way to make money in the real world, I'm all open for that too. All right, so that's all I got for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for listening. Like I said, if you enjoy the show, consider supporting it. I'm kind of in the wilderness. I know most people tend to want to do the super chats, and obviously I'm not going to have that back until next month. So, that's about all I got for tonight, folks. Bechtloff out.